Hi, everybody. It's me, Deanna, the Mystical Moonlight. So, today we are going to talk about trauma. Almost everybody has trauma, some way, shape, or form. Now, we can heal trauma, but it takes a little bit of dedication and care and love. First off, we got to figure out what it is. So, trauma comes in different shapes and sizes. It can be emotional, physical, mental. So, I'm going to talk about myself. For mine, I am going to talk about a physical trauma. Okay, so I know what my trauma is, and mine is a fear of needles now. The trauma was caused by somebody misplacing needles because I never had this before. So they misused the needle, and now I have a fear of, getting blood work and stuff like that done. But I know I need to heal this fear because what if I need blood work later on? And goes for any type of trauma. It can be something that's happened in the past. It could be something that we've recently gone through. It can be karmic. Trauma comes in a lot of different forms, but we do need to heal it officially so that way we can move forward with our lives and we can get to the place we want to be. Nobody wants to be stuck in fear. We want to be happy, healthy, and love. So we need to move into that higher vibrational pattern, and keeping that negative low vibrational pattern of fear is not going to help us to escalate to where we want to be. So first, you need to figure out what your trauma is. Now, if you have a super serious trauma, I do recommend talking with, a professional. That way they can guide you through in case you need help throughout the process to heal this trauma. Everybody has, a different case. So whatever you are comfortable with, but if like I need help, seek out help. Okay. You do not have to, go through this by yourself. But we need to figure out what the trauma is and what it was caused by. It doesn't have the exact story, like at this time on this date, nothing like that. It just needs to be the basic, what kind of happened and how can we move forward. So that's the first thing, figuring out what it is, which it can be challenging because you have to, allow in that emotion of, wow, like I am traumatized by this. I didn't even realize it. Then we have to start the forgiveness process. So forgiveness is key and it's very hard. Everybody goes at their own pace with this. But for me, talking about the needles, now I need to forgive maybe the person, for not doing their job right. But first thing is to forgive myself because I should have stated, please stop. I don't like this. Get away from me. And then I could have stopped it before I just allowed them to keep poking and prodding and hurting me. So you kind of have to get over this forgiveness of yourself because you maybe think that if you did it differently, if you said something different, if you handled it a different way, it would have turned out better. And that is the first step of forgiveness is yourself because, sometimes things happen and we're kind of in the moment. We don't always really think about the end result, but we think about, what we're going through and how to get to the next step. But it has caused us trauma. So I am going to put a mantra into the comments below for healing and clearing your own energy and your own self. So it's something that you can say on a daily to help that forgiveness process because it's not always easy, especially when we're talking about other people. Because, forgiving ourselves is one problem in itself, but now we're bringing in somebody else. A whole different story. Once you start to forgive yourself, then you can forgive the person. You don't have to. You already did your first step, which is yourself. If you can forgive the person, then allow it. Sometimes people make mistakes. Sometimes they don't know what they're doing. Sometimes they need different jobs. So it's going to be okay, but we need to start with that first piece of forgiveness. Then we are going to start the healing process, which is going to be a mixture of your mental, physical, and emotional states. One, because when we go through trauma, it's not just a physical state we're going through, it is also going to affect every other state. So even if somebody physically did something to you, it is now in all three. If somebody did something too emotional to you, it's now in all three. So basically, it's just entwined within our internal system, and it's going to be hard to break out of this trauma. It is you are able to do this. It just takes a little bit of time. So the first thing is, was it physical, emotional, or mental? Then you are going to figure out what space it really hurt. Was it your heart, your third eye, your like root chakra? Like you're going to figure out where it really it hurts. And usually it tends to be our heart because we bring in a lot of emotion. We carry a lot within our hearts. So you're going to notice most of it is going to be healing from the heart chakra and then radiating outwards. So you're going to be doing this through different steps, and it all depends on you and what you're comfortable with. Usually I recommend Reiki first because it's something that everybody can do, everybody has access to, and you don't need tools for. So it's really easy to access for ourselves. Then you're going to realize what chakra did it really affect. And like I said, usually it's our heart. Usually we hold everything there and we put up barriers because our heart is like everything to us. So we got to work on whatever chakra that is. That is going to be more on the emotional state. Okay. Or I'm sorry. Yeah. Emotional state and or spiritual state, whatever you want to call it. Next would be the mental state. So, we put up these blocks. Okay. It happened to me once, maybe twice. And now I'm putting up these blockers. I don't want it to happen anymore. So now I have to shift a mindset to allow myself to not be okay with what happened, but allow myself to be okay with whatever it was going to be. So let's say I have to go get blood work. Okay, that was a very traumatizing moment where I got blood work and it didn't happen correctly. But I'm going to have to go again, right? So I'm going to work on if this went a different way, this is what it would be like. And usually visualization is great with the mental part of this because you can visualize how it could be altered. And you're pretty much tricking your psyche into believing this is how it can go. And there's no pain, there's no suffering, there's no fear, negative energy. It's only positive, right? This is how my blood work went. I went in, they drew the blood. I was happy, no pain, no swelling, no bruising. And I left. It was so easy and simple. So I'm going to visualize that. And this is going to take a few tries. But once we start to visualize this in a positive scenario, our mind is going to start to trick our body. Because that is our last step, is healing the actual pain or whatever you've gone through. So if somebody comes close to me with a needle, I'm going to try to bring my arm back. I'm going to physically react because I don't want them near me. And that is going to be the last step, is how do we heal this physical issue? Working on the first two, then now we're talking about the physical. Now it is just going to be a trial and error parts, because you physically are going to react in a way that you feel comfortable with. But if we bring in the spiritual, healing the emotion or their chakras, whatever type of energy work works for you, do that. Then we healed our mental. So seeing a situation that once was negative in a positive light, now our body is going to start responding in a new way. It may take a few tries, But now when I go in, I might not flinch when I see a needle. Now it might be, okay, it feels a little uncomfortable being near it. And then I go in the next time. Okay, it's cool. I've experienced it. It's not as bad as I thought. Moving forward. No, it does take time for all of these. It's not like it's going to be the first try and I'm magically healed. Sometimes it does take longer. And then the more serious traumas are going to take longer than a few tries. And like I said, if you feel like your trauma is serious enough, then you should talk to a professional to help you through these stages so that way you can start to get on the right track for yourself, because we do need to heal these traumas to move forward. And I think that's the hardest part is, we just kind of want it to be done with time, but we haven't actually addressed the situation and how we truly feel about it. So you are going to be okay. You are going to be healed, and you are no longer traumatized. You are going to make this. Start with these small steps. And if you have any questions or comments, put it below, and I will help you as best I can. All right. Love you all. Bye.